The thunder outside rumbled so loudly it felt like it was ripping the night apart. And honestly, it felt like it was ripping my heart apart too. The rain in Atlanta that night was harsh, cold, and completely unforgiving. Each drop slapped against the window like tiny needles, stabbing straight through my skin and freezing me from the inside out. I sat curled up on the cold stone porch, holding Ethan, my 5-year-old son, tightly in my arms. He had cried himself to sleep, his round little cheeks still streaked with tears. Even in his dreams he was probably still scared, remembering how his grandmother had screamed at us. Behind us, the heavy iron gate had slammed shut so loudly that it echoed in my chest. Just like that, every path back into that house, the same 3-story house I had poured 3 years of my life into maintaining, was gone. That house, once warm, now felt colder and scarier than the storm outside. Before I go on, let me say this quickly. I drop real-life stories every single day. If you enjoy them, subscribing and liking the video would really help me. Now, let's continue. This ending will shock you. My mother-in-law's hateful words kept ringing in my ears like knives. Get out. Leave this house now. I don't want to see your face ever again. You're worthless. A parasite. You and your son are burdens to this family. She threw my old suitcase into the yard. Clothes flying everywhere, soaking in the rain. And my father-in-law? He just stood there, silent, looking away as if I didn't exist. That silence was worse than all her insults. What did I even do wrong? What mistake did I make in those 3 years? Since the day my husband Michael disappeared on that business trip, I had dedicated my entire life to his family. I worked myself to the bone trying to keep everything together. I was a quiet girl who only knew textbooks, but I forced myself to grow up overnight. I woke up long before sunrise, cooked, cleaned, and then went to work at the fulfillment center. Every single paycheck I earned went straight into my mother-in-law's hands. I didn't even keep $1 for myself. I endured everything. Her insults, her criticisms, her judgments. She hated my cooking, so I tried harder. She mocked my simple clothes, so I just kept re-wearing the few I had. She complained that I only gave her 1 grandchild. I swallowed every insult and kept going. I truly believed that if I worked hard enough, if I was patient, respectful, and sincere, she would eventually care about me and my son. But I was wrong. I was painfully naive. In that house, love had no place. Only money and selfishness ruled. Thinking of Michael made my heart ache. When he was still alive, the house had felt like a home. He defended me whenever his mother snapped. He would say, "Mama, don't be too hard on her. Elena is still young. Teach her slowly." He was a good son too. Every money he earned, he gave his mother to manage. He only kept a little to take me out for snacks. He used to say he was working hard, so we could all have a better life. But then came that horrible day. He got called for a last-minute business trip to Chicago. That morning, he hugged me and Ethan, kissed our foreheads, and said, "Daddy will be gone for only a few days. Be good, okay?" That was the last time I heard his voice. His plane disappeared over Lake Michigan. No wreckage. No survivors. Nothing. From that moment, my life turned into a nightmare. My mother-in-law changed overnight. She didn't show one bit of sympathy for me, the woman who had just lost her husband. To her, Ethan and I were nothing but problems. She blamed me for Michael's death. She called me a curse. She accused me of living off them, even though I was the one paying the bills. And tonight? Her breaking point was ridiculous. Ethan accidentally broke her porcelain vase. That was enough for her to throw us out into a storm with no money at all. With my child in my arms, I walked through the rain like someone who had lost everything. My suitcase scraped the wet ground, sounding as miserable as I felt. My tears mixed with the rain, cold and bitter. Where was I supposed to go? Back to my parents? They were old, poor, and weak in a tiny Mississippi town. I couldn't run back to them and become another burden. So I just kept walking. Eventually, my feet carried me to the downtown Atlanta bus terminal. The yellow lights glowed on tired faces, people who looked as lost as I was. I found a little corner under an awning, sat down, and covered Ethan with my thin jacket. "Mommy, I'm cold," he whispered. I hugged him tighter, trying to warm him with whatever strength I had left. My chest hurt like something was cutting it open. My baby. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you don't have a complete home. The noise of the station surrounded me, bus engines, vendors shouting, children crying. But inside me, everything felt empty and hopeless. What future did my son and I even have? All I could do was whisper a broken prayer to Michael. Where are you? Do you see us? Please protect us. The bus terminal felt like another world, a world full of broken dreams. The cold wind kept sneaking under the awning, making me shiver nonstop. Ethan's shoulders twitched in his sleep, probably from nightmares. I stared up at the dark sky. No stars. No light. Just like my life. Where would we go? What would we eat? How would we survive? I lowered my head and bit my lip to stop myself from crying. I had to be strong. I had no choice. Right when I felt like I was about to collapse, a bright beam of light suddenly cut through the rain. I shielded my eyes. The sound of the engine wasn't like the buses, it was smoother, quieter. A shiny black Cadillac Escalade rolled to a stop right in front of me. A car like that didn't belong here. Something in me tightened. Who would come to a place like this at night? The window lowered slowly, and my heart stopped. It was Kayla, Michael's younger sister. I hadn't seen her since his symbolic funeral 3 years ago. Back then, she was rebellious, rude, and always giving me side eyes. She never once called me sister-in-law. My mother-in-law always cursed her name, saying she was a disgrace to the family. But now, she looked completely different. Fashionable hair, dark red lips, big sunglasses, even at night. Calm, cold, and confident. A totally different person. She removed her sunglasses and looked straight at me. Get in, she said. Not a question. A command. I froze. Why was she here? How did she find me? Was this a trap from her mother? I held Ethan tightly, fear and suspicion swirling inside me. What are you doing here? I asked. She didn't answer. She just repeated herself, more impatient. Get in. Unless you want your son to freeze to death here. Those words hit me hard. I looked at Ethan's pale little face. I couldn't risk his health. But could I trust her? As if reading my mind, Kayla sighed. You don't need to be scared. I'm not my mother. I'm not here to hurt you. Then she added something that made my entire body freeze. Get in. I have a secret to show you. A secret about Michael. Michael. That name hit me like lightning. After 3 years, what secret could possibly be left? But a tiny spark, a crazy, desperate hope, flickered inside me. What if she knew something? What if his disappearance wasn't what we thought? I looked into her eyes. For the first time, I saw no hatred, just sadness and determination. I had no choice. Even if it was a risk, I had to take it, for my son's safety, and for the chance to learn the truth about my husband. So I picked up Ethan, grabbed my suitcase, and walked to the car. Kayla opened the back door. I placed my son gently on the leather seat and climbed in. The door shut, blocking out the cold world behind us. Warm air from the heater filled the car. My body slowly thawed. We drove in silence through the rainy Atlanta streets. I didn't ask where we were going, and she didn't explain anything. My mind raced the entire time. How had she changed so much? Where did she get money for a car like this? What secret could she possibly have about Michael? Eventually, we arrived at a luxurious high-rise in a wealthy part of the city. A place I never imagined stepping into. Kayla led us to an elegant apartment on the 25th floor. You and your nephew can rest here, she said, setting the key on the table. You're safe tonight. Her voice was still calm, but softer than before. She glanced at Ethan sleeping on the bed, then looked at me, her eyes filled with something complicated. Pity mixed with resolve. Tomorrow morning, she said quietly, when you've rested, I'll show you the real reason Michael never came back. The apartment was silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. I sat on the soft sofa, staring at the giant window overlooking the city. The first week sunlight broke through the clouds, shining on Atlanta's skyscrapers. But not even the morning light could warm my frozen heart. The night before was the first time in 3 years that my son and I had slept on a soft bed in a warm, safe room. but I still couldn't sleep. I just lay there with my eyes open, watching everything replay in my mind. My mother-in-law shouting, my father-in-law's cold, uncaring stare, the hopelessness at the bus terminal. And then Kayla suddenly showing up like some mystery. It all felt like a slow, messy, confusing movie stuck in my head. Little Ethan was still sleeping deeply in the bedroom, maybe because he was completely exhausted, or because this place was so much calmer than everything we had just passed through. His tiny lips were slightly curved like he was smiling in his sleep. Looking at him made my heart twist again. What was going to happen to his future? He had already lost his father, and now even his grandparents had thrown him out. I was all he had left. His only mother, his only anchor. I couldn't just give up. I heard the soft sound of a key turning. Kayla came in, holding a bag with fresh, warm breakfast. She had changed clothes and was now wearing an elegant beige business suit that made her look older, serious, and professional. She put the bag on the table and handed me a glass of warm water. "Eat something. You haven't eaten all night," she said. I shook my head. My throat felt dry and tight. I had no appetite at all. "I don't want to eat," I said quietly. "Just tell me. What is the secret you talked about last night?" Kayla looked at me. Her eyes weren't cold like before. Now they were full of real sympathy. She pulled a chair and sat down across from me. "I know you're in shock," she said softly. "I am too. For 3 years, I also haven't slept peacefully. But before I tell you anything, I want you to promise me one thing. No matter how cruel the truth is, you have to stay calm, for little Ethan and for Michael." When she mentioned my husband, my chest tightened again. I took a deep breath and tried to steady myself. "Okay," I said. "I promise." Kayla didn't say anything else at first. She took a small voice recorder and a thin folder from her designer handbag and set them on the table. Then she pressed the play button. A low recording started playing. The sound was a bit unclear, like it had been secretly recorded, but I knew those voices right away. A deep male voice and a sharp, nagging female voice. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law. "Stop it," always scolding the daughter-in-law. My father-in-law, Mr. Richard, complained. "Aren't you afraid she'll suspect something? And if she suspects, so what? What can that little country bumpkin do?" My mother-in-law, Mrs. Margaret, snapped. "She should be grateful I even let her live in this house. My son is dead. She's useless now. Don't you see? She and her son are just two hungry mouths eating our food every day." But she's Ethan's mother," he said weakly. "Grandson? Wake up, Richard," she hissed. "Michael is gone. The family line is finished. I'm telling you, when the time is right, I'll get rid of both of them. This house is ours. Michael's inheritance is ours too. I'm not giving that woman a single dollar." The recording stopped. I sat there frozen. My hands were clenched so tight my nails cut into my palms and drew blood, but I didn't even feel it. So that was it. In their eyes, my son and I were nothing but leeches. All my efforts, all my sacrifices for 3 years, just stupidity to them. They hadn't only hated me, they had been planning to kick me out for a long time. Even the love they pretended to show Ethan was fake. Kayla looked at me and spoke in a low voice. "You see? That's who they really are. I hid this recorder in Dad's study almost a year ago." I had my suspicions for a while, but it was only after hearing this that I truly believed Michael's disappearance was not an accident. She pushed the folder toward me. "Look at this." My hands trembled as I opened it. The first page was a bank statement from Michael's account. I recognized it right away. It was his salary account. But what shocked me was the withdrawal. Right before his last business trip, almost $200,000 had been taken out. Next to the transaction was the signature of the person who withdrew it. I knew that handwriting. It was my father-in-law, Mr. Richard Brooks. $200,000? I whispered, my head spinning. Why such a huge amount? And why did my father-in-law take it out? That's all of Michael's savings. I checked, Kayla said. Right after he withdrew it, the money was sent to another account. And the owner of that account, she paused and looked straight into my eyes, is my mother, Mrs. Margaret Brooks. The next page was a statement from a brokerage firm. It showed that Mrs. Margaret had invested the entire $200,000 in stocks, and then she had lost it all. In just a few days, that huge amount was almost completely gone. My world fell apart in front of me. Suddenly, all the scattered pieces came together into one horrible picture. Michael's disappearance, the big withdrawal, the sudden change in my in-laws' attitude, all of it. I still don't have direct proof, Kayla said bitterly. But I believe they did something to Michael because of this money. Maybe he found out they had secretly taken his savings and gambled it away. Maybe there was a big fight and then... She didn't finish, but I understood the rest. Tears streamed down my face again. But this time they were not tears of hurt. They were tears of rage and deep, deep pain. My husband, the man I loved, might have been killed by his own parents, for money. That truth was more cruel than anything I had ever imagined. It didn't just take away my husband. It also destroyed my last bit of faith and family love. I wondered if there was an even worse secret hiding behind all this. And me, just a penniless widow. What could I possibly do against such heartless people? The room went quiet. The silence was heavy and frightening. Only my small sobs filled the air. Every word Kayla had said, every number on those papers, stabbed into my heart like thousands of invisible needles. Michael, my husband, always kind, always loyal. Could he really have been hurt by the very people he trusted the most? I didn't want to believe it, but the cold evidence was sitting right in front of me. I lowered my head onto the table as my shoulders shook. The mix of helplessness, pain, and anger was so strong I could hardly breathe. For 3 years, I had been living in a lie. I had mourned an accident that might actually have been a carefully hidden murder. Kayla didn't say anything. She just rested her hand on my shoulder and gently patted me. That quiet gesture comforted me more than any words could. In that moment, she wasn't just the sister-in-law who once looked down on me. She was Michael's only relative standing with me. The only one on my side. After a long time, when my crying calmed to soft sniffles, I lifted my head. My eyes were swollen as I looked at her. Why? I asked hoarsely. Why are you only telling me this now? And why are you helping me? This was the biggest question in my heart. Why would this girl, who used to act so cold and rebellious, do all this in secret? Kayla looked out the window, her eyes distant, as if she was watching some old memory. Because Michael was the only person in this world who truly loved me, she said quietly. Then she started telling me a story I had never heard. I wasn't born a son, she said. And that was my mother's biggest disappointment. She always wanted another boy to carry the family name and make the family stronger. When I was born a girl, she almost went crazy. Her voice trembled, but she kept talking. My whole childhood was full of random beatings and cruel words comparing me to Michael. In her eyes, I was a useless daughter, a complete failure. Tears rolled down Kayla's cheeks, but she didn't wipe them away. Only Michael was ever on my side. Every time Mom hit me, he ran in front of me to take the blows. He secretly saved his allowance to buy me little things I liked. He was the only one who listened to me. The only one who believed I wasn't a lost cause. She was crying now, truly crying. For the first time, I saw her not as the tough, arrogant girl I used to know, but as a wounded child who had never been loved properly. When Michael disappeared, she continued, I didn't believe it. I couldn't accept that someone as careful as him would just have an accident. So I started watching my parents closely. Instead of seeing grief, I saw fear, anxiety, and even a strange sense of relief. That's when I knew something was wrong. So that was the reason. Her love for her brother was what pushed her to search for the truth. She wasn't heartless. She was hiding a broken heart behind a hard shell. I felt a wave of sympathy and a new respect for her. So what did you do in these 3 years? I asked. I ran away from home, Kayla said, wiping her eyes. I couldn't stay in a house where I suspected my own parents of murder. I worked all kinds of jobs, bartending, sales, anything I could find. With the money I saved, I hired a private investigator to dig quietly into everything. This car, this apartment, they aren't mine. They belong to a good friend who helped me. He was also one of Michael's close friends. Her story stunned me. While I was crying and accepting my fate, She had been out there fighting alone for 3 years in secret, putting herself in danger to chase the truth. What do we do now? I asked. My voice didn't sound weak anymore. When I looked at Kayla, there was only determination in my eyes. We can't let them get away with this. The fire of anger and the hunger for justice burned inside me. I was done being weak. I was done being the quiet, obedient Elena who just endured everything. Kayla met my gaze. A small spark of hope shone in her eyes. I knew you'd say that, she said. I've already prepared some things. But this fight won't be easy. My parents aren't simple. They have money. They have connections. We need more proof. Solid proof. Evidence they can't deny. Her words sounded like a battle cry. In that moment, I knew we were no longer just in-laws. We were partners. We were going to walk this path together no matter how hard it got. Do you also think Elena and Kayla's story is unbelievable? The way money can poison even family love is terrifying, isn't it? If you're curious to see what these two women will do next to expose the villains, show your support by liking this video right now. Every like gives us more motivation to keep telling this dramatic story all the way to the end. Michael, Kayla went on thoughtfully, was a very careful man. I believe that before anything happened, he must have left a clue, something only the people closest to him could find. Her words were like a key turning in a locked door in my memory. Suddenly, I remembered something. About a week before his business trip, Michael had given me a small, beautifully carved wooden box. He told me it was a memory box for the two of us. He told me to hide it well, and said something strange. If one day I don't come back, open it. Everything you need to know is inside. Back then, I thought he was just being dramatic. I even scolded him, told him not to talk like that. But I still hid the box deep in my closet, under the old suitcase. Over time, I almost completely forgot about it. Could the key to everything really be in that old wooden box? What kind of truth could be hiding inside? The memory of the box suddenly became so vivid, like a flash of lightning cutting through the dark sky in my mind. I remembered his face clearly that day, the serious look in his eyes when he handed me the box. That look was no joke. It was like a final message, a warning in case the worst happened. My heart started pounding like crazy, fear and hope mixing together. The box, I blurted out. Yes, there's a wooden box. My voice shook as I quickly told Kayla about the memory box and Michael's strange words. When I finished, Kayla's eyes lit up. Where is it? Where's the box, Elena? She asked. It's still in that house, I said quietly. I hid it under the old suitcase in the closet in our bedroom. As soon as I said that house, the hope I had just felt hit a wall. That house was like a lion's den now. I had been thrown out. How was I supposed to go back there to get the box? And after 3 years, was it even still there? What if Mrs. Margaret had thrown it away while cleaning? Kayla realized the problem too. She frowned and started pacing the room, thinking hard. No, this won't work, she muttered. We have to get that box back. I'm sure everything is inside. But how do we enter the house now? We both went silent, each lost in thought. Breaking in would be way too risky. In the daytime, my in-laws were almost always home. At night, the neighborhood wasn't empty either. Any small sound could expose us. Would our only hope end right there, in front of that cold iron gate? Or, I started hesitantly, a bold idea suddenly forming in my mind. Or I could go back. Are you crazy? Kayla almost shouted. If you go back, you're walking straight into the trap. My mother is furious because she can't find you. If she sees you again, she will not let you go. That's exactly why this might work, I replied, more calmly than I felt. She hates me, yes. But deep down, she also looks down on me. She thinks I'm stupid and easy to control. I took a breath and continued. I'll go back, not to argue, but to beg. I'll play the role of the guilty daughter-in-law who regrets everything. I'll cry and tell her I can't live without the family. I'll say I can't raise my child alone. I'll tell her I was wrong and from now on I'll obey her completely. With her pride and controlling nature, she won't resist that. She'll want to feel powerful again. She'll let me return, but only as an unpaid maid she can continue to humiliate. Kayla stared at me shocked. She didn't fully understand at first. I explained more clearly. If I get back into that house, I can look for the box. I don't need long. Just a chance. As soon as I find it, we disappear. I just have to act for a few days. I can handle that. After hearing everything, Kayla stayed quiet for a while. Her eyes showed worry, but there was also admiration there. Elena, are you sure? She asked. This is very dangerous. What if she doesn't believe you? There's no other way, I said firmly. This is the only way we can enter the house without breaking the law. I'll find a chance to get the box. As soon as we have it, we'll leave. I can do this. Something in my voice must have convinced her, because she finally nodded, even though she still looked anxious. All right, she said. If that's your decision, I'll support you. But promise me you'll be extremely careful. Always keep your phone with you, and keep the recording function ready. If anything goes wrong, you must call me immediately. And just like that, the plan was set. The next morning, I put on my oldest, most faded clothes. I didn't brush my hair so it would look messy and pitiful. I even used a little makeup to make my face look more pale and exhausted. I told Kayla to take care of little Ethan, and to tell him that mommy had to travel for a few days but would come back. Looking at my son's sleeping face almost broke me. My child, I whispered in my heart, wait for me. I'm going to get justice for your father, and then I'll come back to you. I took a taxi back to the street I knew so well. When I stepped out and stood in front of the iron gate of the house that used to be my home, my heart was full of mixed feelings. Anger, sadness, fear, and determination all at once. I took a deep breath, forced down my hatred and disgust, and put on the saddest, most miserable expression I could manage. Then I lifted my trembling hand and knocked lightly on the gate. Who is it? I heard Mrs. Margaret shout from inside, her voice sharp and annoyed. I didn't answer. I just kept knocking, softer and softer, as if I didn't even have the strength. After a while, the gate creaked open. She stepped out, saw me, and froze. Her face immediately twisted into a frown. You, she snapped. What are you doing here? I didn't say a word. I simply dropped to my knees right there on the cold, still damp cement in front of her. Then I burst into tears, the tears of regret and pain I had practiced all night. Mama, I'm sorry, I sobbed. Mama, please forgive me. She was stunned. She clearly hadn't expected that the daughter-in-law she had just thrown out would crawl back to beg like a lost dog. Her expression slowly relaxed. The shock on her face turned into a satisfied, superior smile. The smile of someone who feels completely above you. So you finally realized it, she said. I thought you were going to stay stubborn. You couldn't survive out there, so you came crawling back, huh? Yes, Mama, please. I'm begging you. I sobbed, keeping my head down. Without you, without this family, I don't know how I'll survive. Please give me another chance. I kept crying, pressing my forehead to the ground. And slowly, my performance started working. The fire in Mrs. Margaret's eyes softened a little. Her tone changed from angry to proud and superior. All right, stand up, she said. You can come back. But from now on, know your place. You must obey me in everything. No talking back. Can you do that? Yes, Mama. I can. Thank you so much. I struggled to my feet, keeping my head bowed, afraid to look at her. I knew exactly what I was walking into, a burning pit. But this time, I wasn't entering it helpless. I was entering with a mission. I was a quiet warrior now, waiting for the right moment to strike. Would I find the wooden box? Would my evil mother-in-law even give me a single chance? The door shut behind me, and just like that, I was back in the house I had promised never to return to. The place felt even colder than before, heavy, suffocating. Mr. Richard was in the living room reading a newspaper. When he saw me walk in, he peeked over his glasses, then looked away immediately without saying a word. That silence cut deeper than any insult. It showed how deeply he despised me. What are you standing there for? Mrs. Margaret snapped. Can't you see the house is messy? Start cleaning. Her real attitude was back in full force. From now on, you're in charge of everything. 3 meals a day. The entire house must shine. And don't you dare make me repeat myself. Yes, Mama, I murmured quickly, putting my small empty bag aside and beginning the chores. My life as an unpaid maid had officially started. Mrs. Margaret made sure to squeeze every drop of energy out of me. From sunrise till late night, she made me scrub, wash, cook, sweep, everything. No rest. She purposely made messes for me to clean. She insulted my cooking in front of Mr. Richard just to humiliate me. But I kept quiet. I swallowed every insult. Every hateful look became fuel for my mission. My goal was simple: find the wooden box. But getting near it was harder than I expected. My old bedroom, the one I shared with Michael, was no longer mine. Mrs. Margaret had taken it over. She claimed her downstairs room was too damp, so she moved upstairs. But I knew the truth. She wanted control. She wanted to erase every trace of me. And she banned me from entering the room unless she gave permission. Every time I walked by the closed door, my heart tightened. The box was in there, just behind that wall. So close, yet completely unreachable. I couldn't rush. One wrong move, and she would know something was off. I had to be patient. I had to wait. So I played my role perfectly, the quiet, humble, apologetic daughter-in-law. I worked harder, bowed deeper, complained less. Even when she accidentally spilled boiling soup on my feet, I bit down my pain, held back tears, and apologized to her for being in the way. That broke her. My obedience made her relax. She lowered her guard. And then, finally, the opportunity came. 3 days later, on a Saturday afternoon, she had an important outing with her fake high-class friends. She dressed up heavily, snapped orders at me, and left early. Mr. Richard had also gone to the country club. The entire house was mine. My heart thumped so hard it felt like it would burst. Now, this was the moment. I rushed through all the chores, making sure everything looked perfect. Then I tiptoed upstairs toward the familiar bedroom door. I stopped, breathed deeply, and tried to steady my shaking hands. Locked. Exactly as I expected. I pulled a thin metal hairpin from my apron pocket, something I learned from watching crime shows. I never thought I'd actually use it. I slid it gently into the lock, trying not to breathe. The clicking of the metal felt painfully loud in the silent hallway. Then, click. The lock opened. A wave of relief washed over me. I slipped inside and quietly shut the door. The room looked almost the same, except nearly everything that belonged to me had been replaced with her things. The air smelled strongly of her cheap perfume. No time to waste. I ran straight to the old wooden closet where I had hidden the suitcase. I opened the doors, and my heart dropped. The suitcase wasn't there. Panic shot through me. I searched the closet from top to bottom, digging through everything. Nothing. Had she thrown it away? Fear rushed up my throat. If the box was gone, everything Kayla and I had done, everything Michael had tried to leave behind, all wasted. Tears burned behind my eyes, but I forced myself to think. She's greedy. She would never throw a suitcase away. It must be somewhere. I searched the room. Under the bed, behind curtains, nothing. Time was running out. The clock was almost at 4 p.m. She would return soon. My breathing grew shaky. And then, I looked up. There, on top of the closet, hidden behind dust, was the old suitcase. A burst of hope filled me. I dragged a chair over, climbed up, and pulled the heavy suitcase down with all my strength. I set it on the bed and unzipped it with trembling hands. My old clothes were still inside. I dug deeper. And finally, wrapped in a soft velvet cloth, the wooden box. It was still there. Still safe. I held it in my hands like it was my husband's heartbeat. I opened it quickly. Empty. No notebook. No keys. Nothing. Just a single old wedding photo of Michael and me. My breath caught in my throat. What did this mean? Before I could think further, I heard it. Her car engine outside the gate. My blood ran cold. She was home. I was trapped in her room. The suitcase was open. The box was in my hand. I could be caught any second. I shoved the clothes back into the suitcase and pushed it up onto the closet again, sweating and shaking. I put the chair back exactly where it had been. But the door. I'd picked the lock. I couldn't lock it from inside. Then I heard her talking to someone in the yard. A neighbor. A blessing in disguise. A few more seconds. I scanned the room desperately. Then my eyes fell on the wedding photo. I grabbed it, turned it over, and noticed the back corner was slightly loose. I slid a nail underneath. And there it was. A tiny micro SD memory card taped to the back. My heart jumped. This was the clue. This was what Michael wanted me to find. Hidden behind our smiling faces, where no one would ever check. No more time. I tore off the memory card, hid it deep in my jacket pocket, and placed the photo back inside the empty box. Then I kicked the door with all my strength. It splintered open loudly. I screamed wildly. Thief! Thief! Mama! I ran downstairs with messy hair, pretending to be terrified. Mrs. Margaret froze on the staircase. What? What are you talking about? The room? My room? Thieves. I heard noises. I gasped. I ran up and the door was broken. He escaped through the window. The moment she heard the words, your room, her face drained of color. She didn't look at me again. She ran upstairs immediately. Her precious money and jewelry mattered more than anything else. I stayed downstairs, my heart pounding like crazy, but relieved. My plan had worked. Upstairs, she found the room messy and ran straight to her valuables. When she saw they were untouched, she breathed a sigh of relief. Then she glared at me suspiciously. Did you see him? What did he take? No, it was dark, I said shakily. He ran away fast. I couldn't see. I don't even know if anything is missing. I just know he rummaged through the old suitcase on the closet. At the mention of suitcase, she twitched, then quickly hid her reaction. What would a thief want in your useless old suitcase? She muttered. This house is cursed. Just cursed. As soon as I leave, something happens. All your fault, you bad luck woman. I lowered my head and stayed quiet while she ranted. But inside, my heart was racing with excitement. The memory card. What was on it? Could it finally reveal the truth? That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't even want to be in that house any longer. I lied to Mrs. Margaret, telling her I was too frightened and wanted to sleep at a friend's place. She was too distracted by the broken door to question me. I left immediately, with one mission. Find somewhere safe to open the memory card. I caught the last bus to a small, old student apartment where Kayla was waiting. It was a tiny room, one of the secret places she had arranged. Kayla rushed to me as soon as I stepped inside. Are you okay? I was worried, she asked, her voice anxious. I'm fine. I did it, I said, my hands trembling as I pulled the memory card from my pocket. But it wasn't a notebook or keys. It was this. Kayla's eyes widened. She grabbed the memory card and slid it into her laptop. The screen lit up. A single folder appeared. The truth. My chest tightened. Kayla's fingers shook as she opened the folder. Inside were multiple video files, arranged in order. The first one was recorded exactly 3 days before Michael disappeared. Was the truth finally about to come out? Was it really my in-laws? Or something even bigger? The air in the room grew heavy. The laptop's faint light shone on both our tense faces. Open it, I whispered. Kayla nodded and clicked. The video began. Silent. A hidden camera angle. Michael was sitting in his study, talking to a man I had never seen before, about Mr. Richard's age, well-dressed, but with a sly face. Their conversation looked extremely heated. Michael kept shaking his head firmly. The man slammed the table angrily and pointed at him. Michael looked exhausted. He held his head in his hands after the man left. We played the next video. And the next. Each one showed Michael meeting a different stranger, a tattooed man, a classy woman. Every conversation ended in tension and stress. He seemed trapped, like something big and dangerous was closing in on him. Then we clicked on the very last video. Recorded one day before he vanished. This time, the man opposite him wasn't a stranger. It was Mr. Richard, my father-in-law. He placed a folder and a plane ticket on the table and pushed them toward Michael. Michael didn't even look at them. He just stared at his father with pure pain in his eyes. Then he stood up, knocked over the chair, and shouted something we couldn't hear. His face was red. His fists were clenched. Mr. Richard stood too. Father and son confronted each other. The tension was suffocating. Then Michael shook his head desperately and stormed out. The door slammed. Mr. Richard dropped into the chair and buried his face in his hands. The video ended. A cold silence filled the room. This was no longer just about a gambling debt. Something deeper, darker, was happening. "Elena, look here," Kayla whispered. She zoomed into a tiny detail on the screen. While the two men argued, the wind lifted part of a document in the folder. The hidden camera caught a blurry text. 2 words were visible. Land conveyance contract. Alpharetta. My heart flipped. Alpharetta. I remembered how Michael had been working nonstop on a big housing project there. He said it could change his career. Then suddenly, he told me it was canceled due to legal issues. But was it really canceled? Or was the project stolen? Kayla and I looked at each other. Our thoughts were the same. Had his own parents betrayed him? And who were all those strangers? The truth felt like a dark spider web, tangled, dangerous, full of hidden traps. "We need to find that first man," Kayla said firmly. "He's the only one who knows what really happened with the Alpharetta project." "But how?" I whispered. "We don't even know his name." We hit another wall. But then something else flashed in my mind. Kayla, check the last video again. Something was under the desk when Michael knocked the chair. Kayla rewound it. We both leaned closer. And there it was. A tiny black USB flash drive taped under the desk. My heart raced wildly. Michael had planned everything. He hadn't hidden the real clue in the wooden box at all. He hid it where Mrs. Margaret, the woman who always sat at that desk, would never ever think to look. Right under her nose. Right under the desk. "It must still be there," I whispered. "Of course it is," Kayla replied quickly, her voice shaking with excitement. "My mother is very neat, but she would never Raymond down under the desk to clean. She only sends the cleaning lady, and that woman would never notice something so small." "But how do we get it?" I asked. The worry came back immediately. "If you go back now, your mother definitely won't leave you alone. She's probably still suspicious after the last fake break-in." She was right. Going back to that house again was extremely dangerous. After what happened, I was sure Mrs. Margaret had doubled her guard. My poor, obedient daughter-in-law act wouldn't work a second time. We needed a new plan. Something bolder. Something shocking. Or, Kayla went quiet for a moment, then suddenly snapped her fingers. Or we make it a real break-in. I stared at her, confused. I didn't understand what she meant. Kayla winked at me, a rare mischievous smile on her lips. "We won't be the ones breaking in. We'll make someone else do it." I suddenly understood where she was going. Kayla's plan was crazy and dangerous, but it also made a strange kind of sense. "What exactly are you planning?" I asked. "Among the loan sharks my parents owe money to, there's a notorious guy named Scarface S," she said. "He's known for being ruthless and fearless. My parents have been dodging him for a long time. I'll leak a little information to him. That my parents just sold some property and are hiding a lot of cash at home. With his greed, he won't ignore that. He'll send his men to break into the house and collect the debt. And in all that chaos, we'll have our chance." Her plan made me shiver. "Isn't that too dangerous?" I asked. "What if they hurt your parents?" For a second, Kayla's eyes softened with sadness, but then they turned cold again. "Don't worry," she said quietly. "People like Scarface S only care about money. They're not stupid enough to commit murder and bring more trouble on themselves. Besides, this is the price my parents have to pay for what they did to Michael. They pushed us to this point. They can't blame us for fighting back." Her determination convinced me. I knew that to deal with people as cunning as my in-laws, sometimes you had to be even more ruthless than they were. Over the next few days, we started to move. Kayla used her contacts in the underworld to pass the news to Scarface S. Just like she predicted, his men started watching my in-laws' house the very next day. Everything was going according to plan. My job was to prepare for our part of the break-in. I couldn't go in alone. I needed someone who could support me and create a distraction if something went wrong. The person I thought of was Jason Miller, Michael's close friend, the same man who had been helping Kayla all this time. He was a talented engineer, sharp, brave, and loyal. After Kayla told him everything, he agreed to help without hesitation. He said he owed Michael a debt for life. Finally, the big night came. It was a moonless night, the sky completely black. The whole street was quiet and still. According to the information Kayla got, Scarface S's men would make their move that night. Around 1 a.m., a small, unmarked van rolled silently to the end of the street. Two men in black clothes and masks jumped out, climbed over the fence, and disappeared into the yard of the Brooks house. "They're inside," Jason whispered through the small walkie-talkie we were using. He was sitting in a car parked across the street, watching everything. "We're ready," I answered. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Kayla and I were hiding in a narrow alley behind the house, right under the study window. Moments later, we heard glass shatter at the front of the house, followed by Mrs. Margaret's panicked screams. "Thieves! Robbers! Help! Somebody help me!" The plan had officially begun. Jason quickly called the local police to report a robbery at the Brooks residence. At the same time, Kayla used a different phone to call the house landline. In her panic, Mrs. Margaret grabbed the phone right away, thinking it was someone calling to help her. "Hello? Hello? Help me," she cried. "Shut up, old woman." Kayla's voice snapped through the line, now distorted by a voice changer app. "I'm calling from Scarface S. Your husband owes us money. We came to collect. If you scream again, you'll go see your son." The moment she heard "your son," Mrs. Margaret went completely quiet. Her voice trembled as she asked, "How much? How much do you want?" "Every dollar of cash in the house. Every valuable thing you have," Kayla growled. "Cooperate, or it will be very bad for you." Then she hung up. The distraction worked perfectly. All of Mrs. Margaret's attention, and the robbers, was focused on the front of the house. Meanwhile, at the back of the house, I quickly climbed up to the second-floor balcony using a small rope ladder that Jason had prepared. I slipped through the study window, which I had purposely left slightly open days before. The room was pitch dark, but I knew this place well. I didn't turn on the light. I only used the faint beam of my mini flashlight and went straight to the desk. I knelt down, reached under the desk, and felt around with shaking fingers. When my hand touched something small and hard, my heart almost exploded. It was still there. The cold little USB flash drive rested in my palm. I could have cried from relief, but I swallowed it down. This was not the time. I had to get out. But just as I turned to leave, I heard a soft click at the door. Someone was unlocking it. The dry snap of the lock echoed through the quiet room, stabbing straight into my nerves. My whole body froze. My breathing stopped. Someone walked in. I was on the second floor. The only exit was the window, but if I climbed out now and someone saw me, it would be obvious I was part of the robbery. And who was it? One of the robbers? Mr. Richard? Either way, if I got caught right now, everything would be ruined. In that life-or-death moment, I didn't hesitate. I dropped to the floor and quickly rolled under the desk, curling myself into the darkest corner. The heavy wooden table was covered with a long tablecloth that almost touched the ground, and thank God, it hid my entire body. I held my breath. My heart was beating so loudly I was afraid they'd hear it. I silently begged that whoever had come in wouldn't look under the desk. The door opened slowly. Light from the hallway spilled into the room, making a tall shadow appear on the floor. It wasn't one of the robbers. It wasn't Mr. Richard either. It was a completely different man. The same sly-looking man from the first video, the one who had argued with Michael in his study. What was he doing here now? He wasn't alone. One of Scarface S's robbers came in behind him. "Boss, everything's going exactly like we planned," the robber said respectfully as he closed the door. "The old woman is scared out of her mind and already showing us where she hid the money under the sink." "Boss." I froze. So this strange man was the real mastermind, not Scarface S. Kayla and I hadn't just stirred up trouble with a lone shark. We had walked right into something much bigger, a game inside another game. "Good," the man they called Boss said. His voice was deep, full of power and cruelty. "The money doesn't matter. Did you find what I need?" "And no, not yet, boss," the robber stammered. I searched the old woman's bedroom, but there was nothing except cash and jewelry. Idiot! What do I care about her money and gold? The man snapped. It has to be in this room. Michael was smart. He hid the evidence somewhere here. Search everything. If you don't find it, you'll regret it. Evidence. So he was also looking for the proof Michael had left behind. We were all chasing the same thing. I lay under the desk, cold sweat running down my back. In my hand, I squeezed the USB stick so hard my fingers hurt. The thing they were desperately searching for was right here, just a few centimeters away from them, separated only by a thin wooden board. The robber started tearing the room apart. He yanked open drawers, threw out papers, slammed books on the floor. Every loud bang made me flinch. "Boss, there's nothing here. Just old documents," the robber said after a while. The boss cursed again. I could hear him pacing back and forth. The heavy sound of his leather shoes on the wooden floor made the whole room feel smaller. "Damn it," he growled. "Where did that guy hide it? It can't just disappear. If this gets out, we're all finished." He stopped right in front of the desk, just a tablecloth away from me. I could smell the expensive cigar smoke clinging to his clothes. My heart was beating so fast it felt like it wanted to jump out of my chest. And then, out of nowhere, police sirens wailed in the distance. They were getting closer fast. "Damn it, the police!" the robber panicked. "Boss, what do we do now?" Even the boss looked confused. "What is Scarface doing? Why did he sell us out?" "Fine, we're leaving. We didn't find anything tonight. Go downstairs and tell the other guy to escape through the back." "Move." The robber rushed out immediately. But the boss didn't leave. He stayed there, staring around the room with those sharp, cold eyes. He looked at the bookshelf, the wall photos. Then he slowly remounted down and glanced under the desk. And our eyes met through the small gap in the tablecloth. For a split second, time froze. He saw me. His eyes widened, then instantly turned dark and murderous. "You." He didn't even finish the sentence. I kicked the desk leg with everything I had. The heavy wooden table crashed into his shin. He shouted in pain and stumbled backward. That was my only chance. I crawled out from under the desk, didn't think twice, and ran straight for the window. "Stop," he roared. I had no choice. I climbed onto the windowsill, squeezed my eyes shut, and jumped. The landing on the old corrugated iron roof was so painful it knocked the breath out of me. But I didn't stop. I crawled, slid down the slope, and dropped into the narrow alley behind the house. I didn't care if I was hurt. I just knew I had to run. Police sirens were blasting now. Behind me, I could hear the man screaming in rage. Even now, whenever I remember standing face to face with that strange man, chills run down my spine. He wasn't just dangerous. He was the kind of person who could end a life without blinking. It made everything 10 times scarier. If you feel that same fear and want to support Elena through all this madness, don't forget to subscribe to the Cast Stories channel. Your support might be free, but to us it means the world. I ran like a woman who had lost her mind. Too scared to even look over my shoulder. My whole body hurt, but fear pushed everything out. I finally reached our meeting point. Kayla and Jason were already in the car waiting. "Elena, what happened? Are you okay?" Kayla screamed when she saw me. "Drive. Please drive now," I gasped, clutching the USB stick like my life depended on it. Jason stepped on the gas. The car shot off into the night, leaving behind that chaotic house, and a half-uncovered secret that scared me even more. Who was that man? Why did he know about Michael's evidence? And what was his connection to my husband's disappearance? The USB stick wasn't just proof anymore. It felt like a death sentence, something people were willing to kill for. The car sped through the highway. I leaned back against the seat, trying to catch my breath. My whole body was shaking. Not from cold, but from pure terror. That man's cold eyes kept flashing in my mind. "Elena, are you hurt?" Jason asked, checking the mirror. "No, just some scratches," I whispered. A long scrape on my arm was bleeding slowly from when I fell on the roof, but honestly, the physical pain was nothing. The fear inside me was 1,000 times worse. Who were those people? I whispered. What kind of monster was that man? We were tricked. Kayla said, her voice tight with anger. Someone used our plan for their own agenda. And this man, he's way more dangerous than my parents. When we got back to Kayla's safe apartment, Jason checked every lock and camera. Kayla cleaned my wounds, her hands trembling. Even in all this darkness, I felt warmed by the care she showed me. Tell us everything, Kayla said gently once I calmed down. So I did. Every single detail. From getting inside the study, to hearing the strange man call the evidence life or death, to the moment he found me and I escaped by jumping. When I mentioned that he was looking for the evidence too, Jason and Kayla both froze. So this man is also after the proof, Jason said, holding the USB stick. Whatever's in here, it must be huge. He plugged it into the laptop. This time, none of us were excited. All three of us were tense, terrified of what we might hear. There were only 2 files. One audio file. One encrypted text file. Jason opened the audio file first. The voices were clear: Michael, Mr. Richard, and the strange man. Michael, don't be foolish, Mr. Richard said desperately. Give the original plans back to Uncle Harrison. You can't win. Uncle Harrison? I whispered. Kayla shook her head. She'd never heard the name either. Michael sounded furious. I won't give him anything. Dad, this is my life's work. Why are you betraying me? Why are you selling it to him? You know nothing, Harrison said, sounding arrogant. This is business. You're too innocent. Give me the documents and take this money. Leave the country with your wife and child, and save your life. I don't want your dirty money, Michael shouted. I will report you and Dad too. Silence. Then Harrison's voice turned ice cold. If that's how you want it, Richard, you have 1 week to handle your son. If you fail, your entire family will suffer. The audio ended. The room went dead silent. My whole body trembled as the truth sank in. Harrison. Harrison was the mastermind. Michael's disappearance wasn't an accident. It was planned. And Mr. Richard, his own father, had helped. My tears came fast, but this time they were burning with pure hatred. Jason squeezed my shoulder. Don't break now, Elena. Michael risked everything to protect this evidence. We have to honor that. Then Jason opened the encrypted text file. After nearly an hour of decoding, the message finally appeared. It was a handwritten letter. Michael's final letter. It was a will written with heartbreak. He told the full truth. The Alpharetta project wasn't some random job. It was groundbreaking. Something that could change an entire region. And Harrison Cole, a powerful criminal businessman, wanted it. He pressured Michael's father to sell it behind his back for quick money. When Michael found out, he collected evidence and told Mr. Richard he would expose them both. And Mr. Richard chose money over his own son. But the last lines of the letter shook me to the core. Elena, if something happens to me, trust no one in my family. Not even Kayla. My whole body froze. I turned my head slowly to look at Kayla. She looked even more shocked than I was. Her face went pale. No, he can't mean that, Kayla whispered, trembling. Why would he say that? What did I do? Jason tried to calm both of us. Michael wrote this when he was terrified and desperate. Maybe he misunderstood something. Let's not jump to conclusions. I forced myself to breathe. Kayla, think. Did anything happen between you and Michael before he disappeared? Kayla wiped her tears, trying to think clearly. No, everything was normal. He even gave me money and told me to go on vacation because something stressful was coming. She paused. Her eyes widened. Oh wait. 2 weeks before he left, I lost my phone. You what? Jason and I said together. I was drunk at a bar and woke up without it. I thought I was careless and just bought a new SIM card. Jason looked stunned. Kayla, the phone wasn't lost. It was stolen. Your parents must have taken it. I felt sick. They probably read all your messages, including the ones with Michael. They knew he suspected them. And they knew he trusted you. And Michael, Jason added, probably thought you shared his secrets with your parents. Kayla collapsed, crying loudly. I didn't betray him. I swear, Elena. I never betrayed my brother. I hugged her tight. It wasn't your fault. You were also a victim. Now we finally understood. The distrust was a misunderstanding born from a stolen phone. But another big question remained. Was Michael dead or still alive? Jason pointed at the audio file. Harrison said handle him. That could mean many things. Kill, threaten, or hide him. A small spark of hope returned. But if he's alive, where could they keep him for 3 years? Kayla asked. I swallowed. Harrison. Harrison has the power to hide him anywhere. Maybe Mr. Richard handed Michael over to him. As scary as it sounded, it made perfect sense. No body. No trace. No clues. Kidnapped. Hidden. We had hit a dead end. And then Kayla's phone rang. A private clinic from Asheville, North Carolina. Mrs. Margaret had an accident, the nurse said. Serious injuries. Please come. We stared at each other. Why Asheville? Why now? It smelled like a trap. Kayla insisted on going. I warned her to be careful. She left. A horrible feeling crawled into my chest, like she was walking into something dangerous. After she left, Jason tried to calm me. Elena, did Michael leave you anything else? I thought hard. Only the wooden box. And, oh wait. A month before he disappeared, he gave me a cactus for my birthday. A cactus? Jason frowned. I nodded. He said it symbolized strength. The cactus is here, on the windowsill. Jason grabbed it, looked closely, and suddenly shouted, Elena, come here. Hidden among the cactus spines was a fake spine. A metal one. Jason opened it. Inside was a small GPS chip. My knees almost gave out. Michael, that incredible man, had hidden a tracking device inside a cactus. We connected it to the laptop. A red dot began flashing on the map. The location was not Atlanta, not Alpharetta. It was Asheville, North Carolina. Everything hit us at once. Mrs. Margaret's accident. The clinic's call. Kayla going there alone. None of it was a coincidence. Kayla is in danger, I screamed. Jason tried calling her. Nothing. The line was dead. We have to go now, he said. But we can't do this alone, I panicked. I know. Jason dialed a strange number. Uncle Raymond, we found Michael. I'm sending coordinates. Kayla is in danger too. We need backup. Jason hung up and looked at me. Elena, there are things I can't explain right now. Michael and I, we're more than just friends. But trust me, tonight we will bring Michael and Kayla back alive. No matter what. We rushed out of the apartment. Jason gathered a whole team, almost like a private rescue unit. We drove straight toward Asheville. The location was an old mansion on a cliff. When we arrived, armed men were already waiting. Jason split them into 2 teams. One team would attack from the front. The other would sneak from the back, down the cliff wall. I stayed inside the car, watching through a drone camera. The attack started. Silent gunshots echoed. Jason's team adbrooks quickly. Until suddenly, boom. A massive explosion shook the whole mansion. They're trying to blow everything up, someone shouted. Jason shouted through the radio for everyone to move in and find them. My heart was beating so fast I thought it would jump out of my chest. I couldn't sit in the car and just watch anymore. I threw the door open and ran straight toward the smoking mansion. I had to find them myself. Inside, everything was a mess. Furniture was overturned, things were broken, and Harrison's men were lying unconscious on the floor. I rushed from room to room, yelling their names like a madwoman. Michael, Kayla. At the end of the hallway, I noticed a basement door slightly open. Without thinking, I ran toward it and flew down the stairs. The staircase was dark, damp, and smelled like mold. When I reached the bottom, what I saw almost stopped my heart. Kayla was tied to a pillar, her mouth taped shut. Not far from her, a thin, exhausted man with a long beard lay on an old iron bed. Standing beside him was Harrison, holding a gun to his head. Next to Harrison stood Mr. Richard and Mrs. Margaret. Don't move, Harrison shouted when he saw Jason's team and me rush into the basement. One more step and your precious son dies. Even though the man on the bed had changed so much, I knew those eyes. That look. It was Michael. He was alive. Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? Kayla managed to say after they pulled the tape from her mouth. You foolish girl, Mrs. Margaret hissed. The accident was fake. We staged it to drag you here. All of this was to force your sister-in-law to hand over the evidence. So it had all been a trap from the very beginning, a trap meant for all three of us. The basement felt like a small, suffocating stage. A single yellow ceiling bulb cast long, twisted shadows on the walls. The smell of smoke, mold, and fear filled the air. I stood facing Harrison's gun. Behind him were all the people who had turned my life into a nightmare. Mr. Richard, Mrs. Margaret, and my husband, lying there weak and broken like a candle about to go out. You're clever, Harrison smirked, like someone sure he had already won. You made it this far, but this is the end of the road. Hand over the USB and every copy you made. Then I'll let your husband and you die nicely. Let him go. Jason roared from behind me. He and his men had already taken their positions, guns raised and ready, but no one dared move recklessly while Harrison held a pistol to Michael's head. The tension in the room was like a tight wire ready to snap. One wrong move and everything would explode. Elena, don't do it, Michael said weakly. His body was broken, but his eyes were still firm. Don't give him anything. The truth has to come out. You're still acting righteous? Harrison pressed the gun harder against Michael's temple. Michael flinched in pain. I'll count to 3, Harrison said coldly. If you don't throw the USB over here, he gets the first bullet. 1. My hands shook. I looked back at Jason, begging him silently to help me decide. He gave the smallest shake of his head, telling me to stay calm. 2. Stop! I screamed. My voice cracked. Okay, I'll give it to you. Just don't hurt him. My hands trembled as I pulled the external hard drive from my pocket and slowly placed it on the floor. Here it is. Please, let him go. Harrison laughed, a cold, ugly laugh. Do you think I'm stupid? Kick it over here. I nudged the hard drive with my foot until it slid across the floor toward him. One of his men picked it up and plugged it into a laptop they had ready. Boss, this is it, the man said. All the data is here. Good. Very good, Harrison said, his face glowing with satisfaction. He looked at me with pure mockery in his eyes. Love really makes people stupid. For a man who might die any second, you were willing to throw everything away. Now, as a little reward for being obedient, I'll let you die together. He lifted the gun and aimed straight at me. I closed my eyes. The only face I saw in my mind was Ethan's. My baby. I'm sorry. A deafening gunshot rang out. But it didn't come from Harrison's gun. I flinched and waited for pain, but felt nothing. I opened my eyes slowly. The gun had fallen from Harrison's hand. Blood dripped from his arm. He stared in shock at the basement stairs, where the shot had come from. All of us turned to look. Out of the darkness stood a middle-aged man, calm but with eyes sharp as blades. In his hand was a handgun, still smoking. Uncle Raymond! Jason shouted in surprise. The man they called Uncle Raymond didn't answer right away. He walked down the stairs slowly, step by step. Behind him, dozens of heavily armed police officers rushed in and quickly took down all of Harrison's men. Harrison, the show is over, Uncle Raymond said in a deep, steady voice. Harrison stared at him. His face had gone pale. You, who are you? Just an old friend. Uncle Raymond replied with a faint smile. Someone who has been watching you for 20 years and waiting for this day to settle an old score. Mr. Richard and Mrs. Margaret turned completely white when they realized the situation had flipped. They dropped to their knees, crying and begging. Please spare us. We were forced. It's all Harrison's fault. We had nothing to do with it. But it was too late. The police moved in and handcuffed them. Mrs. Margaret didn't stop screaming and cursing me, calling me a curse who had destroyed her family. Mr. Richard said nothing. He just lowered his head and accepted his fate. In the middle of the chaos, I ran straight to Michael. He had fainted from exhaustion. Jason and the others quickly untied Kayla. We finally reunited there in that dark basement, through tears, shaking hands, and the sound of police sirens echoing above us. A few days later, when things had calmed down, Uncle Raymond told me everything. He wasn't just the leader of the underground group Jason and Michael were part of. He was also the brother of a man who had died years ago in a construction accident, arranged by Harrison to silence witnesses. For 20 years, Uncle Raymond had quietly collected evidence and built his own power, waiting for the perfect chance to bring down Harrison's criminal empire. Michael had met him by accident while investigating his own father. They realized they shared the same enemy and decided to work together. So Michael's disappearance was part of the plan, Uncle Raymond explained. Michael knew he couldn't face Harrison and his father head-on, so he pretended to give in. He let himself be captured to act as bait in the perfect trap. He believed, Uncle Raymond said, that only by letting the world think he was dead could he lower Harrison's guard. And more importantly, he believed that your pain would wake you up, Elena. He knew that only the love you had for him, and the hurt of losing him, would make a gentle woman like you strong enough to search for the truth. I froze. Tears rolled down my cheeks again. So all of it, my suffering, my despair, the long journey to justice, had been part of his plan. He had risked his own life and bet everything on our love and on my strength. And that hard drive you handed over? Uncle Raymond smiled. It was fake. Michael had already sent the real data to the FBI as soon as you found it. What Harrison got that day was just bait to stall him. The trial against Harrison and his partners moved quickly. With all the solid evidence from the USB, the memory card, and Uncle Raymond's files, Harrison got the maximum sentence. Mr. Richard and Mrs. Margaret also received long prison terms for their crimes. 1 year later, on a sunny afternoon in Asheville, North Carolina, I sat by the water's edge, watching two silhouettes, one tall, one small, playing in the waves. Ethan laughed loudly in his father's arms. Michael had almost fully recovered after months of treatment. His body was much stronger now. The emotional scars, though, would probably never fully disappear. "Mommy, come play with Daddy and me," Ethan shouted. Michael turned toward me and opened his arms wide. I smiled, stood up, and ran toward them. He wrapped both of us in a tight hug. "I'm sorry," he whispered in my ear. "I'm sorry I had to let you go through all of that." I shook my head and leaned against his shoulder. "It's okay. It's over now. What matters is that our family is together again." Kayla and Jason had also become a couple. They decided to leave all the dangerous underground stuff behind and opened a small tech company together, choosing a quiet, honest life. Sometimes I visited Mrs. Margaret in prison. She looked much older, thinner, and her sharp tongue was gone. She didn't insult me anymore. She didn't say anything at all. She just cried. I didn't say much either. I simply placed a basket of fruit on the table and walked away. Forgiving is hard, but maybe learning to let go is the real kind of peace. That day, the sun slowly sank toward the horizon, turning the whole sky a warm orange gold. I looked at my husband and my son, laughing in the waves, and my heart felt full and calm. The storm was truly over. After everything, we had finally reached our own sunrise. A new beginning without lies, without hatred, just love and a quiet trust in tomorrow. Let me talk to you honestly now, from my heart. After all the betrayal, fear, and secrets that almost crushed me, I realized something important. Life sometimes pushes us into the darkest places, so we can learn how to create our own light. No one came down from the sky to rescue me. I had to make that first brave decision myself. And once I did, everything slowly started to change. So if you're going through something heavy right now, don't let anyone convince you that you're powerless. You'd be surprised at the strength inside you once you decide you deserve better. If you felt this story in your heart and enjoyed it, show it by giving this video a like. Let's see how many of us are out there listening together. And I'm really curious, what city are you watching from, and what time is it there right now? Tell me in the comments. I read them. For more life stories like this one, you can check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel. You'll see 2 new stories on your screen now. I'm sure at least one of them will pull you in. Don't forget to subscribe. Just tap, relax, and keep listening. Love to you.